Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm extremely excited because in this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to set up your own highly profitable sponsored display advertising. And just for reference, here's a screenshot from our own account over the past 2.5 months. Some of these are brand new sponsored display advertising campaigns, and the majority of these campaigns are actually advertising our brand new listings, which at the start had 0 reviews and still only have a few reviews, and are still able to generate a 30% ACOS. And you'll kind of start to understand why that's the case as we go through the video. And I've seen these campaigns perform even better for several other brands and sellers on Amazon. So these can perform really, really well for you, and they're fairly easy to set up. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into all that now. But first, just for some reference, and let me just move my head out of the way, here are a couple examples of sponsored display ads. So there's multiple placements that will ultimately appear for your sponsored display advertising. And here is one of them, and one of the most iconic and also one of the most profitable. So what you can do is go to Amazon.com, type in any kind of product related keyword into Amazon, click on a random product listing, and then once you get to the product page, like you see here, you are likely going to see maybe a couple ad placements that look something like this that are either right below or very close to the buy box. Okay, again, this is an example of a sponsored display ad. And why this is so powerful is that you can actually target, I'm going to show you how to do this, but target very specific products. So either, your competitors' products or maybe even complementary products to your own, and maybe frequently bought together products. Target them with SDA or sponsored display ads and ultimately appear right underneath their buy box. So for your competitors, it's a great way to kind of steal market share away from them, because someone's clicking on their listing, going right to the buy box, and they see something enticing or captivating about your ad that gets them to click on your ad, maybe instead of clicking on your competitor's buy box. So that's really, really powerful. And there's also, along with kind of appearing on your competitors' listings, with sponsored display advertising, you can actually also appear off of Amazon. And right now, this is the only ad type that you can actually, through Amazon, you can target external Amazon traffic. And this is actually very, very new, at least as of the creation of this video. So you probably haven't even heard about this yet. So I'm really excited to share this. So there's kind of the two parts. It's the competitor or complementary product targeting, as well as the off Amazon targeting. And I'm going to cover both, and it's honestly really simple. So let's go ahead and get set up. So step one, go ahead and log into your Amazon Seller Central account. Go to Campaign Manager. Once you're there, click on Create Campaign. Here, we're going to select Sponsored Display. You have 3 options here: sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored display. Keep in mind, one caveat is that in order to access sponsored display advertising, you do need to be brand registered. So if you're watching this and you're not brand registered yet, go ahead and check, because you never know. Amazon could roll out or be testing in beta with non-brand registered sellers for whatever reason. Probably not, but go ahead and check just to make sure. And even if you're not brand registered, something to keep in mind, and then you can be prepared for and plan for properly for when you are. And if you are a seller who does have brand registry on Amazon, like my wife and I do, then you should be able to use this with no problem. So go ahead, select continue under the sponsored display ad category. Once you're there, and I'll move my head out of the way again, there we go. You'll have 2 options here, and we're actually going to cover both. So you have the option for views remarketing as well as product targeting. We're going to set up 2 separate sponsored display ad campaigns. Okay, they're going to be almost identical. It's just this is the big key here, the big difference. One campaign is going to be product targeting. This is where, again, like I mentioned before, we're going to target either competing products or complementary products where we can ultimately show up underneath our competitor's buy box. Really powerful. And then number 2, the second campaign that we're going to set up is views remarketing. This is basically where we can target, well, not basically, we can target prospects who visit our listing and that they don't buy and they leave, as well as we can also target people who visit products that are similar to ours listings and then leave. And basically we can target them off of Amazon, bring them back onto Amazon, right? Remarket or retarget them, bring them back to our own Amazon listing, whether that's they visit our competitors or our own listing, and ultimately make the sale. This is brand new, as you can see from the sticker here, as of the creation of this video. So I'm just testing out the views remarketing, but in my experience with other remarketing ads with Facebook and Instagram, with Google and other platforms, this can be very, very profitable. And I expect to see really great results from the views remarketing. But I recommend setting up both campaigns and testing both regardless of my results. It's always good to test. So first, you're going to select product targeting. That's the first campaign we're going to set up, because it is a little bit more difficult, but it's still easy. You're going to name your campaign. I name it something like, my product name. So for example, maybe taco holders dash SDA, which stands for sponsored display ads, and then dash ASIN or dash, product targeting. Okay, because this is going to be our product targeting sponsored display ad. Next, you're going to hit a start date. I don't recommend setting an end date. And something to keep in mind is, and this is true for Amazon, Facebook, and other platforms, is whenever your campaigns turn off, that generally sends a bad signal to Amazon's algorithm or whatever advertising platform's algorithm, because in their view, if your campaign is running well, there's no need to turn it off. So if you're turning it off, it shows that there's probably an issue with the campaign. So with a lot of times, from my own experience and sellers that I've spoke with, when you turn off an Amazon PPC campaign, and let's say it was getting a 30% ACoS before and getting great results, you turn it off and then turn it back on later, a lot of times you will not get the same results or not get even as good of results as you were getting before. So generally, I don't recommend setting an end date. Just set a start date. And if you ever want to turn off your campaign, manually do so, which is really easy to do. You just go and turn it off and it's done. So that's what I recommend. Just set the start date whenever you want it to be. Daily budget, anywhere from $10 to $20 is pretty solid. It completely depends on your product category, how much inventory you're moving and all of that. But if you just want to kind of set up a decent test, $10 to $20 can get you some really great results. And again, this is your max daily budget. This is the maximum you're willing to spend every day. This is not necessarily what you will spend every day. So just keep that in mind. Next, you're going to create your ad group. I recommend having one ad group per campaign to keep things simple. It keeps things simple and organized, but it also gives you more control over all of your campaigns. So keep it simple, one ad group. Usually I'll have a similar name for my ad group as I do for my campaign, since it's one ad group per campaign. So go ahead and name your ad group, really straightforward. Next, you're going to add the products that you want to advertise. So I recommend here as well, again, to keep things as organized, as controlled as possible, only advertising one product per ad group per campaign. Okay, and what some sellers will do is they'll add multiple variations. I don't recommend doing that because Amazon's going to randomly kind of select one. And anyway, without going into too much detail, again, for control reasons, I recommend selecting, you'll enter in one product, whatever product that you want to advertise with this campaign. Go ahead and enter that in here. You can usually use the search tab you see kind of on the left there, right next to enter list. Use the search tab and you can kind of find your product here. But the reason I'm kind of using this keynote instead of actually going into my account, because I want to keep some of my data, my sensitive data private. Okay, so that's why I'm using the screenshot here. But yeah, go ahead and enter your product that you want to advertise. And next, you will enter your starting bid. Now, without getting into too much detail, because I could go way off the chain here, but to keep things simple, maybe consider starting off with somewhere around a 25 to 50 cent bid. That's usually a fairly conservative bid for a lot of categories. And then starting with that bid once a week, check back into your campaign. If you're still not generating the impressions and clicks and sales that you want to be seeing, then consider increasing the bid by 20% once every week or even twice every week until you start getting the sales and clicks and profit that you want to kind of be seeing or expecting from your sponsored display ad campaign. But what you may be surprised by is because there are a lot of other sellers that aren't utilizing the sponsored display ad advertising, is that you can actually get away with some very, very low cost per clicks. But again, it definitely completely depends on the category. So that's just kind of, I know I'm going to get grilled for even saying this or giving you kind of this set number, but just something to kind of consider if you want to be a little bit more kind of conservative, a little bit more cautious, and make sure that these campaigns are profitable. Maybe start somewhere around that range, 25 to 50 cents. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe you're launching a new product, you want to really crank up your advertising, get some more sales, maybe somewhere around $1 a click. But what you can also do is go to your campaign manager, look at the past 60 days in your Amazon campaign manager kind of account. Look at the average cost per click of your campaigns, okay? And then maybe whatever your average cost per click is over the past 30 to 60 days, maybe use that cost per click as your starting bid for your sponsored display ads. And if that's confusing, then don't worry about it, right? So just a couple different ways. It's not as important. Just keep in mind, you will be changing the bid over time as you optimize your sponsored display ad campaigns. So where you start is not nearly as important as where you end, or really as you kind of change. This is just a starting point. So it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. If you want to be more conservative, 25 to 50 cents. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe somewhere around $1 is usually pretty competitive in most categories and industries, although like I said, it really does depend. But you can look in your campaign manager, past 30 to 60 days, what's your average cost per click for all of your other campaigns? Then maybe use that. If it's like, let's say 75 cents is your average cost per click, okay, then maybe we set the bid as 75 cents here because that's about what we're spending on our other campaign. So hopefully that helps with your starting bid. If you have questions about it, let me know in the comments. And then next, you will enter a list of products that you want to target with your campaign. So if you already have a list of products that you've already kind of gone through this process before, you can skip this next section, but this is kind of your first time doing it and you want to learn how to kind of generate a list of profitable products you can target with your sponsored display ad campaign, as well as maybe your other product targeting campaigns as well. That's what I'll briefly be covering here in this little kind of short section. And specifically, this is for sellers who are already running other campaigns. If this is your first time setting up your Amazon PPC campaigns, period, then what I'd recommend doing is I have a video in the Amazon PPC playlist here on YouTube where I showed you how to use the free Helium 10 black box tool to generate a list of high profit potential products that you can target with your sponsored display ads, as well as your other product targeting campaigns. So that video will be there, and I'll mention that at the end of the video here as well. But this section, I'm just going to kind of show you how to use your existing Amazon PPC data to identify high profit potential products to target with your sponsored display ads. And just one last thing is when you go to kind of target products with your sponsored display ad, you'll need to put them in the form of ASINs. So if you aren't already familiar, ASIN stands for Amazon System Identification Number. You can find the ASIN of any given product if you go to their product detail page, both in the URL as well as kind of scroll far down on the description. You'll see a section here that says at the bottom of the screen, ASIN, then it shows what the ASIN is. And basically these are like social security numbers for Amazon products. They're just unique ways of identifying separate products. So basically, when I talk about product targeting and ASIN targeting or product campaigns or ASIN campaigns, they're interchangeable. Same thing that I'm referring to, okay? So in order to tell Amazon, hey, these are the products that we want to target, we have to give Amazon the list of their social security numbers, right? They're ASINs, okay? So that's just kind of what we're doing. We need to find the ASIN associated with the products that we want to target, which is very simple to do, and I'll show you kind of how to do that. But yeah, you can pause this and look at this for reference if you need. So how we're going to do that is first, go to your Amazon PPC account. In the top left-hand corner, there should be a drop-down. Go ahead and click the drop-down, then click on Reports. Once you're there, click on Create Report. Here, you can pause the video and just use the criteria that I input here. The only thing that I might change is if this is the first time you're ever going through this process and this is completely foreign to you. For the report period in the bottom of the screen, go ahead and select last 60 days instead of last 30 days. That's the only difference. And the reason for that is going to give you more data to work with. And usually more data is better than less data. Next, again, you can name it whatever you want. For schedule time, go ahead and hit now because we want the report now. Once you do that, click on Run Report. It'll take just usually a few seconds, less than a minute to generate. And then you'll see once it generates an icon to download in the far right corner, go ahead and click Download. Then what you'll do is download a CSV or an Excel file with all of your search term data. So basically, if you have auto campaigns running or even your other campaigns running, you have the ability to target keywords as well as products with these campaigns. So for example, with your auto campaign, it's a very common example. You basically let Amazon target different products and keywords, okay? And what happens is if you target a certain product and make a sale on that product, you want to make sure that you're targeting that product that you've made a sale on in the past 30 or 60 days in your sponsored display advertising campaign, as well as maybe your other product targeting campaigns, okay? So what does that mean, or how does that work? Really simple. Just go to the report that you've downloaded. Once you get to the report, go to the customer search term column. So look at that full column, customer search term. In that column, what you want to look for is any search term that starts with B0, okay? If it starts with B0, it's almost guaranteed to be an ASIN, okay? Just showing you products that you've been targeting with your other with your existing campaigns, okay? And specifically what you want to look at is two really simple things. So number one, in the customer search term column, look for those ASINs, the B0, XYZ, B0, ABC. And then any ASIN or any of those kind of search terms that have generated at least one sale in the past 30 days or the past 60 days, okay? So any product that has generated at least one sale in the past 30 days from your other campaigns are likely going to generate sales in your sponsored display campaign. Basically, you're making sales with these products with your existing campaigns. You're probably going to make profitable sales with your sponsored display ad campaigns as well, right? That's just kind of the theory behind it. And again, really simple. I could go into a lot more depth, and I do in other videos, but hopefully this kind of gives you a good kind of starting point. So go ahead, and what you'll literally do is in the customer search term, copy each of those ASINs. You can even kind of drag and copy a bunch. So copy, and then we're going to go back here, and we're going to paste here in the enter list section for your sponsored display ad. So that's where you're going to enter everything in there. Really simple. And then hit enter, and all of those should then automatically kind of be targeted there. And by the way, my head's just covering it. There you go. Once you enter in the list, you'll just hit the target button right down there in the bottom right of the screen. Pretty straightforward. And there's other ways as well. Again, I'll have videos in the Amazon PPC playlist here on YouTube going into even more ways to identify high profit potential products to target with your sponsored display ad campaign. Once you've done that and just entered in even just a brief list there, just something to get started, you have the option to add creative. Basically, this is a way to make your sponsored display ads stand out even more, and I highly recommend utilizing this. And even if utilizing it a little bit, some is better than none. This is going to help your ad stand out and ultimately improve click-through rate, sales, all that good stuff. So the two ways that you can add creative is with your brand logo and a headline. So for your brand logo, go ahead and click on or hover over that little kind of information icon that you see next to customize your creative. And Amazon is going to tell you the proper dimensions that they need your logo to be in. And I like to use canva.com when creating my logos, or kind of, adjusting my logos for Amazon ads and other creatives as well. So go ahead, add your brand logo. Next, you have the option to add a headline. So for the headline, again, you can keep it really simple. What I like to do is use a human voice. Don't sound like everyone else. Your goal is to stand out, not to blend in. So don't use professional brand type language. Use very kind of personal language. Focus on the benefits. There's a lot of ways to do this. And again, don't stress about it. Just filling in something here. Even if you just put in, for example, if you're selling a taco holder, putting in, great taco holder here, that could work. In this case, I've just, as this example, I've put better taco holder here. And the reason that I've used that language is because if you think about it logically, right, your prospect or potential customer is going to one of your competitors' product pages, right? And then maybe they're going to the add to cart button, but then they see your sponsored display ad and they see that your ad says better taco holder here. So maybe that arouses their curiosity. You have, some good reviews. You have a great main image. So maybe that with your kind of headline says better taco holder here. They're like, well, there's this fear of missing out on this better taco holder. Maybe I won't buy right away. Let me check this out. And they click on your ad and then maybe ultimately buy. Okay. So that's just kind of the psychology of why I kind of use that language. Again, honestly, in my opinion, not a huge deal. Something that's worth testing, and it's ultimately depends on your brand and your strategy. But something simple, better, X product here. Focus on the benefits. So what is the benefit of your product? Maybe, something like Spice Up Taco Tuesday or something like that. Again, using language that stands out, gives you more of a human voice, something that arouses curiosity and then gets people to click on your ad. That's it. And, the sky's the limit. And again, you only have 50 characters total. So, you can use as much or as little as you want, but even a little bit of using this is better than none because it's going to help your ad stand out a little bit more. That's just my opinion and also based on my own experience. Then once you've filled out, you've targeted your ASINs, your bid, and all that other good stuff, you're going to go ahead and hit launch campaign. For sponsored display ads, I have found that they take a little bit more time to get approved because you have some text there and some other things. So for example, if you're going to put curse words in your text or, some profanity or something like that, obviously, Amazon needs to review that before it gets officially approved. So sponsored display ads take a little bit more time to get approved, in my experience, than sponsored product ads, but usually it should take, only a few minutes, definitely less than a day. Although keep in mind that may depend on the season and other factors as well, but usually pretty quick. Okay. So hit launch campaign. It'll go through a review process before it goes live. And then once you've done that, you've gone ahead and set up your first, hopefully highly successful and highly profitable sponsored display ad campaign. But remember, there are two campaigns that we want to set up. So number one, what we've already done, and this is the more complicated of the two, is we've set it up our product targeting sponsored display ad campaign. Now we want to set up our views remarketing, or just our RM, remarketing sponsored display ads campaign. So what I recommend that you do is, instead of going through the whole video again, just watch through the video again if you need to. And you're going to do everything the exact same. The only difference is when you get to this section of targeting, instead of selecting product targeting, we're going to select views remarketing. That's pretty much the only difference. Otherwise, it's almost identical. So once we select views remarketing, as you can see here, and I'll move my head, we have the option of both of these. So we can either do one or the other or both of these options, and that is we can target we can target customers, or I guess potential customers, who have looked at similar related products to ours and then left Amazon, right? So they've looked at products that are similar to ours, maybe other taco holders or maybe even other complementary products to ours, and then left. Well, it's probably just going to be, to other taco holders if we're selling taco holders. As well as we can also target, people who have basically gone to our listing, looked at our product, gone to our product detail page, and then left. Okay, so likely this is going to be higher converting here. So if you want to focus on more profitable and you don't want to experiment as much, you're a little bit more risk averse, I would just get started here. You can go ahead and exit out of this one. So you only have advertised products, look back 30 days. Whatever bid that you're using for your other campaign, your other sponsor display ad campaign, it can be a really good starting point. Just keep it simple. So there's that. But for me, I like to, I'm going to be testing both. And by the way, this is brand new. This is like, as far as I've known about it, it's about been 1 week since I posted or created this video. So very, very new. This is going to give you an edge over your competitors. And in my experience with other remarketing campaigns, with Facebook, with Google, with Pinterest, and other platforms, I believe these are going to be really high converting, okay? Because you're targeting people who have already expressed interest, maybe in your competitors, but even specifically in your own product. So if they already expressed interest and maybe they got busy or distracted or whatever, these could be potentially really profitable. So I'm super excited to collect some more data about this, but I want to share with you as soon as possible so you get the edge over your competition. And again, personally, I would just leave both of these. You could create 3 total campaigns, so where one campaign you're targeting similar to advertised products, and the other campaign you're targeting advertised products. But for now, I just have them honestly both in one campaign. You can set 2 different bids, but to get started, just set 1 bid. Keep it simple. But just kind of hopefully that makes sense. And of course, if you have questions, let me know in the comments below. And then also, kind of last couple hopefully helpful things. If you want the full slides that I've just covered here for your reference, you can find those in our Facebook group in the files section. And our Facebook group is the AMZ Escape Plan, Amazon FBA Q&A. So just AMZ Escape Plan. You can usually find us that way. Feel free to pause the video, and I'll have a link to this in the description to our Facebook group. Second, if you would like more in-depth tutorials, I have other ways of basically identifying high profit potential products, keywords, and I'm planning to produce a lot more Amazon PPC content in the future. And if you want those kind of free videos, a lot of really valuable stuff right here in the Amazon PPC playlist here on YouTube. So go to playlists, click on Amazon PPC, guarantee a lot of really valuable stuff, and it's basically free. You may have to put up with a couple of annoying ads. That's pretty much it. And then lastly, if you would like a full in-depth walkthrough of Amazon PPC step-by-step, highly, highly profitable campaigns, literally every single thing that I do, and you want to learn Amazon PPC for the price of lunch, then you can be sure to check out our 7 insanely profitable Amazon PPC campaigns course, both available on Udemy and Skillshare. Extremely affordable, one of the highest rated and best-selling Amazon PPC courses on the market for a very good reason. Amazon PPC is not difficult. It's honestly very, very simple, but people make it seem difficult so they can sell you on expensive courses and consulting services. And again, you can enroll in the course. I have actually a full video talking about my experience with Amazon PPC and how I got into it. Basically, it was for me getting screwed over by a terrible kind of con Amazon PPC agency, but really not that difficult. And it's helped literally hundreds, if not thousands of Amazon sellers generate significantly more profit with Amazon PPC and waste a lot less money on Amazon ads. So it can literally change your life. But again, here to help. So if you have questions, let me know in the comments, as well as the Facebook group. And if you liked the video, which I hope you did, be sure to let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more in-depth Amazon PPC and other helpful Amazon FBA tutorials like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because we have a lot of great videos currently on the channel and a lot more, I'm telling you, a lot more coming very, very soon, which I'm very excited about and want to make sure you don't miss out on. So as always, thank you so much for watching and your support. Hope you found the video immensely valuable. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.